been a really long drive, and I'm in northern BC now, in between Bell 2 and Dease Lake, a land with an unlimited supply of mosquitoes. I had no idea how far I'd be able to drive out on this Willow Creek FSR. This looks like it. You could get an ATV through here. Maybe if I widened it, I could get the van through that. But the road only goes another 12 kilometers, so I'll just bike it tomorrow. Should probably play it safe. I'm pretty far out right now. So I want to head out to Mount Edziza Provincial Park. It's this big volcanic complex. It just looks so unique, and I'm really excited to see this kind of a landscape so far north. It's something that I'd picture down in the southwestern states, like around Death Valley. I've wanted to see it for the longest time. When I was bike touring down from Alaska, I planned on hiking out to it, but I talked to the person who was running the Kanaskan Lake campground. She talked me out of it. She said it's just way too hectic. It's not going to happen. What people normally do is they take a float plane to the northern end of the park, then they hike down through, then they take a float plane back out. And I mean, that's an amazing way to do it. You get to see the place from up in the air, and then there's also no backtracking involved when you're out hiking, but that's also really expensive, and I'm a do-it-yourselfer. I think I figured out a way that will work with a minimal amount of bushwhacking and just a pack raft as well. I've organized about 6 days of food for this, but I have no idea how long it's going to take. And yeah, the hard part is definitely going to be dealing with the mosquitoes. And if Rocco's not having a good time with it, then we may have to turn around. It's too bad about that washout. I could have driven the van so much further, maybe right up to the point where I'd be getting the bushwhack. So an extra 5 kilometers I could have driven the van. Not that big of a deal. I think I can go across the beaver dam there. So by bushwhack, I meant to say nicely maintained ATV trail. I don't think anyone has used this in a number of years though. Not since that big washout in the road, at least. I knew this was here because I could see traces of it on the satellite view. If this takes me the 5 kilometers across to Modad Lake, I'm laughing all the way to the bank. The power of technology and satellite imagery. It would have only been locals and word of mouth that knew this was here. And now some kid from Ontario can show up and start acting like he knows the place. I'm already halfway across. It's starting to get a little overgrown, which is sad because this already seems like such a great option for going to Mount Edziza via your own 2 legs. I lost the trail. I'm officially bushwhacking. It started veering to the south. I need to continue west for another 2K. But yeah, it helped me out a lot getting this far. I don't know what that lake's called, but you can just start to see Modad there. That's what I'm headed for. I was looking at the satellite imagery and there's this big open clearing. The optimistic part of my brain, it's like, yeah, head for it. It's probably a grassy meadow and you can just cruise right across it. But realistically, it's a swamp. Best to stay in the forest. And I mean, if the rest is like this, it's not such a bad bushwhack. This is Rocco's first time on the water. I didn't bring any life jackets. I'm just going to stay close to the shore. I don't have to do any wide crossings or anything. I bet you could bushwhack all the way there if you wanted to. If the wind is ripping against me on the way back, and I guess the option is available. There's a campsite at the end of this lake with bear bins and everything, but I feel like I need to keep going if I want to see the most possible. Once I get up into the volcanic complex, I think the hiking is really easy. It's just all flat and open terrain. It's so tempting to call it a day, just sleep right there on that dock, but we should keep going. There's supposed to be a really swampy section coming up, so I'll try to get through that. I see fresh sawdust, that's good news. I had no idea what I was going to be in for over here. Please tell me this is it. That was nasty. I'm done for today. That's all I can handle without going over the edge. Get this up quickly so Rocco is sheltered. Get in there. There we go. I thought we might get a bit further today, but we did all right. So tomorrow we'll go up past Coffee and Cocoa Crater, and from there I have to make a decision. Eve Cone looks really interesting, but it's way up north. It'd be a huge backtrack. So maybe alternatively I could go up Tenenacone and see if I can do a summit on Ice Peak, but it's hard to say until I'm up there and I can see it firsthand. But that's the end of day one. Good night. Yeah, I can understand why someone would pay for a helicopter to take them right up to the very top. Fair enough. Fair play. This is so nasty. We're back into the swamp. There's no way I could cross that stream and hold the camera too. The current was way too strong. I could barely hold my balance. According to the GPS track, I had to cross it one more time. That kind of thing gets me so nervous. I nearly turned around there. I've pretty much been wearing my sandals all day. It's been so swampy. There's a point of no return with my boots. Once they get soaked through, it'll take like 4 days for them to dry out. So I'm trying to be real careful with that. Only wear them when I need them. Just when you think it's safe to put on your boots, it's not. But clearly people are bringing horses up here. Maybe that trail from Canaskin Lake out at the highway, maybe it still goes. Just gonna take a break for an hour, let everything dry out. But yeah, now that I'm boots in the ground, distance is always further than what you think it's gonna be. Maybe I should have packed 8 days of food instead of 6, but it's been a difficult hike, and it's hard to think that I gotta go back through all that stuff one more time. So this trip is going to be the big test for the Garmin Fenix 7X watch that I got. This is why I bought it. It's supposed to have really good battery life. I got it in the extended power mode, which has slightly less accurate GPS, but they say 87 hours of battery life. I just goofed up though. I was taking a break I hit pause. My break was too long and it timed out and ended the activity. I can't figure out any way to resume it, so I had to start a new track. Would have been nice to have like one complete track, especially for the bushwhacking part on out of here, to have the course displayed on my watch, but I'm sure I can figure it out. I'm telling the truth here. This is a scene from northern British Columbia, Canada. Just such a unique mix of all the volcanic activity and the huge glaciated mountains. This is quite the scene. Any one of these volcanoes could erupt again. Maybe we'll get a fireworks show as well. So today I'm going to leave most of my stuff here, just go fast and light and try and do a summit on Ice Peak. I've already used up half of my battery bank, so I'm going to cut back on the video work today. I'm just really worried that I'm not going to be able to pack raft out if the wind is blowing against me, and it's going to be pretty critical that I can use my phone to navigate if I have to do a big bushwhack. Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty far out right now. This is the biggest trip that I've ever done. I didn't bring any mountaineering gear, no crampons or axe. If I did, I probably could have fast traveled right across the glacier. Looks really safe. If only I could carry this out and mount it on the front of my van. Looks like my lucky day. I can easily get up the western aspect of Ice Peak and hopefully not get shanked on the last 10 meters of it. Almost there. This is looking really promising. Please, let me have it. Life is so much easier with an almost empty backpack. There you go, Ice Peak. An easy enough summit here, but a great goalpost and objective pinned onto the far point of my trip. We got Mount Edziza over there. It's the namesake of the park. Really wish I could fly a drone right now, but it's not allowed here. And this time I'm serious. I'm gonna turn the phone off and make my way back to the tent. All right, we're back. It's only 2 o'clock. It didn't take too long. I carried Rocco most of the way back, gave her a good rest, but I think I'm gonna pack up camp and just start slowly meandering my way back. It'd be good to do those 2 water crossings early tomorrow morning, because I don't know if they'd be passable for me in the late afternoon. And if I can get down to Modade Lake by tomorrow night, then I'll have a little extra time if I have to wait around for calm waters to come. But that's the plan. So get packed up, get moving. I got past the 2 water crossings and half of the swampiness. I just put my boots back on. for a little bit until it gets really nasty down at the bottom. I feel like I should be at the lake by noon. I don't know if I can make it back to the van today. I clocked it from the van to the lake 7 hours, so it's pretty far from there. I want to take a quick look at this Canaskin Lake Trail. It goes out to the highway there, the campground. Looks like they are maintaining it. I bet you it still goes through and people use it, but I was advised correctly not to attempt to do it. I wasn't equipped nearly well enough back then when I was on that bike tour. I wouldn't have made it. Even though maybe I could have taken that trail in, that could be another 25 kilometers of hiking through swamp versus a nice pack raft, a mild bushwhack, and a bike ride. So I'm pretty happy with my way. We got calm waters, so I got to keep the train moving. It's raining a little bit. Hopefully this will pass. Well, it's looking promising. I can clean up this trip today, get back to the van. It's funny how things condense. On the way up, I was like, holy, this is going to take at least 8 to make this happen. The way out, it went a lot smoother. I just had my sandals on for the most part and just plowed through it all. Well, yeah, I'm really happy with what I got to see and experience up there. It's one of the most interesting places I've ever been to. It's a special place, and I got to see if I can make my way into the north end of the park and see what's up there. But yeah, let's get through this bushwhacking, see if I can find my bike. Yeah, we just crashed last night straight to bed, and now we got another rainy day. It seems like whenever I'm in this area, this is the normal weather around here, so maybe we got really lucky with a few nice days up there. But yeah, Rocco did really good. She's just such an energetic and versatile dog with the amount of terrain that I can get her through. I tried to give her a good amount of breaks with like the cycling and pack rafting, and I tried to keep her daily distances within reason, but she did a lot of work. It was a big trip for a little dog, so I'll be giving her a good amount of time to fully recuperate. But like yesterday on the way out, she still had an excess amount of energy to chase after squirrels and things, so it's pretty amazing what she can do. The watch, it still had 60% charge left after 4 full days of use, so that lives up to expectations. Like I said, I had it in the extended battery mode. It's got a solar panel on it, and I didn't see any signs that it was charging up, but what it did was hold it at the same percent and stopped it from draining, which works for me. But stupid me, I had my wrist pointing towards the sun, and I wasn't thinking. I got a sunburn on my arm, so I think next time I'll just wear it on the outside of my shirt and turn off the heart rate monitor, because I don't really look at those statistics too much anyway. And to answer a question that I've been asking this whole video, I'm going to head over to the campground and see if I can talk to someone who works for BC Parks and figure out the information on the official trail that leads into Mount Edziza. And we're going on day 5 here with no social interaction. It'll probably be healthy to talk to another human. I feel like I've been in my head a little too long. So I actually did manage to speak with another human there. She said there's a trail. She called it the Modaddy Horsepacking Trail. And you still need a boat or a raft to get over to it. And good luck finding where it begins. And she said most people just take a plane out there. And that concludes this adventure. If anybody has information on the Modaddy Trail or how to access the north end of the park on foot, like the Clastine River Trail or from Telegraph Creek, let me know. And it will be a trip that I will definitely return for in the future. But yeah, thanks for watching, and thanks for coming along. Thank you to Patreon supporters. I hope everyone is doing good, and I will see you in the next one.